Froggy went a-courtin', he did right, Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right, Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right, sword and pistol by his side, He went down to Miss Mouse's door, He went down to Miss Mouse's door, He went down to Miss Mouse's door where he had been many times before,
Welcome back to Donzi's World. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm your host. My name is Don Fapiano. I am Donzi. Now today in Donzi's World, I have the most wonderfulest show for you. And I know that you know that I always say that I have the most wonderfulest show today. But today I really do have the most wonderfulest show because today is going to be the Peeper Show. It's Donzi's famous annual Froggy Peeper Show. Look where I am right now. I'm at my favoriteest place to tape at the top of Sleeping Giant Mountain. Right behind me is the swamps. And listen to that noise. Those are the little peeper frogs. It's springtime again. The winter is over. Springtime. And the peepers came up out of the ground, little peeper frogs. They're screaming their heads off in the swamp. Pretty soon they're going to lay the little eggs, and I'm going to collect the eggs, and I'm going to bring them to my apartment, and I'm going to grow little froggies, and we're going to tape the whole thing. I'm going to show you how it's done. We're going to see the little froggies transform from the egg to the tadpole to finally we're going to get little froggies. So we're going to do that all. Better sit back and enjoy. And watch the Peeper Show. Enjoy. And now check this out. Here's a picture of two little froggies together. One froggy lays on the other froggy's back. And because what happens is, the woman froggy has her belly full of eggs. And then she shoots the eggs out of the belly. And as soon as she does that, then the froggy on her back shoots out what he has and it fertilizes the egg. And that's what happens. Now take a look at these two froggies all put together, laying on each other. That's what's going to happen. She's going to shoot out the eggs, and he's going to put his stuff on top of it. Then they're going to make little baby froggies. Watch this. Alright, so now I'm ready to start the process. I've got my eggs that I captured up at Sleeping Giant and I brought them home. And you know what? It only took a couple days, like 2 or 3 days, before I started seeing little tadpoles. Now I have actual tadpoles. So I'm going to show you those tadpoles right now. You're going to get a good look at them. And eventually, as the tadpoles develop, their little legs will start coming out. They'll start getting little back legs, then their front legs will come out. You can see their little fingers. So you're going to see that too. Check that out right now. Take a look at my little tadpoles. So now I got my little tadpoles at home in my apartment. I have them in 2 tanks because I got a lot of tadpoles this year. So here's one tank right here. Here's the other tank right here. I got 2 tankfuls of tadpoles. And when I was taping in the woods, the frogs behind me were so loud. They were croaking and screeching. They sounded like birds. They were so loud. Luckily, they're not loud in my apartment, because if they were, I wouldn't have them. They're nice and quiet when they're here. So that's good for me. But now, in my tanks, I have big tadpoles and I have small, little tadpoles. And there's a good reason for that. When my girlfriend and I went to the top of Sleepy Giant Mountain to look at the eggs, we saw that there were already large tadpoles swimming around in the swamp. And at first it confused me, because it was just the beginning of the season and they should have just been eggs. There shouldn't have been tadpoles. They should have just been little eggs. But we saw big tadpoles swimming, and though I collected a couple of those. What me and my girlfriend figured out together, actually, is that nature has a way of making sure that the population will go into the next generation and the next generation. This is what I figured. If a crop of eggs that were late in the season died because of a drought or because it was too sunny and they all dried up, say an entire crop of eggs died, there would still be a generation to go on, because some of the eggs from the previous year are still alive. And those were the big tadpoles that I saw. Those were from the previous year. They were swimming around. So when we went, we saw the big tadpoles from the previous year, and we saw the eggs from the new year. So there's always going to be a generation to go on. Even if all the eggs from the new year died, the tadpoles from the old season will live on and be the next generation. That's nature's way of ensuring that life will go on, generation after generation. So I was so excited that day, because on the first day I went up there, I collected the big tadpoles that were swimming and I brought those home. Then I went back again, and a couple days later, and the eggs were there. Then I collected the eggs and brought those home. And then the eggs hatched, and that is so exciting. Now I have big tadpoles and I have little tadpoles, and they're swimming around and I could watch them. You know what's happening right now? Their little legs are coming out. I can see their back legs with the fingers like this. They've got little froggy fingers. And some of them have little front legs with the fingers too. And a couple days ago their eyeballs came out. Now I can see they have eyeballs. I don't see their mouths going yet. Usually when they get bigger, and I'll show you when that happens, their mouths go rum 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 rum, because they're always going moving their mouth. When that happens, I'll show you to you. They're not there yet. My tadpoles are still in the beginning stages. I just started this process. But we're going to watch the entire thing. And you know I get so excited. I come home from work and my little tadpoles are here. Oh, I love it. Now what I need to do is I'm going to get an aquarium, a fish aquarium, a big one, 10-gallon aquarium. And I'm going to make the habitat that I'm going to use when I actually get a frog. Then I'll move the frogs from these small tanks into the new aquarium habitat. The last time I did this, I didn't have a very good setup. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I got those platters with the plastic top, and that was my habitat for the frogs. And then 5 of them escaped in my apartment, and they were jumping around all over the place. I'm going to have a much better setup this year. I'm going to have a fish aquarium, put rocks in the bottom, little trees and stuff that they can hide under, and little ponds that they could jump in, and the food is going to be correct. Oh, the food. Let me tell you about the food. The last time I grew little froggies, people were so mad at me because I fed the little froggies oatmeal from my kitchen cabinet. I thought they loved it. And I saw them eating it. I thought they loved it. But then people told me that when you feed a little froggy oatmeal, it expands in their little stomach and it's not good for them. Well, a lot of them did die. I got 2 frogs last time, 2 frogs, but I could have gotten more if I fed them the right food. Probably oatmeal was like the wrong thing. But now I read more about it. I know a little bit more. So now I give them algae tablets. They're little algae discs. And then I chop them up with the scissors real small, because these guys are small. So I chop them up small. Then the algae goes in the water. They eat the algae. They love it. Love the algae. Much better than oatmeal. So this year, my tadpoles, since I got them home, none have died. 0 have died. I have very healthy tadpoles. I might have a lot of frogs this year. A lot of frogs. I'm going to be so excited. But now, I'm going to wait till my froggies get to the next stage. When their little mouths start going, rah, 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 then I'll show you again. I'm going to have my aquarium set up as a frog habitat. I'll show you that. Their legs are going to come out. We're going to see their little legs. Then they're going to start looking like a little froggy, and I'll show you that. Stick around. You're going to enjoy this. Sit back and enjoy.
While Bill O'Reilly carries water for President Obama, compromise all makes sense of Obama's illegal use of drugs.
And here it is. It finally happened. My little tadpoles have actually turned into frogs. I've got at least 3 real frogs now. And they started out as eggs, then they went to tadpoles, and now they're frogs. Look what's behind me right here. This is my terrarium that I built for my little frogs. As they change from tadpoles to frogs, I'm going to transfer them into this new tank. And I'll show it to you in a second. You could say I have some nice flowers in there. I've got little ponds of water that they could jump in, and their food is in the water so they can eat whenever they want. This is what we've been waiting for, and I'm so excited. Here, I'll show you my tank, then I'll show you the little frogs that are inside. Alright, well this is the tank that I built, my little terrarium. See, it's got stones on the bottom, and I have all kinds of plants because the frogs like to hide underneath the plants. And look, if you look very closely, there are 2 frogs right there in the corner of my tank. See his eyeballs? That's one of my little frogs. Then there's another one right behind him. You can barely see him because they blend in so well. There he is. See his little eyeball? This guy's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. Now this is the tank where they start out from. I've still got a few tadpoles in here. See that guy? His mouth is going a mile a minute. There's another one. See, you could barely see he's got a long tail. When they become frogs, that tail disappears. But some of them still have long tails. These guys cannot wait to get out of this small tank and go into the big one. But they have a little more changing to do before that happens. But I built them this tower with the perch on top so that if they did want to get out of the water, they could climb the tower and sit up on top out of the water. And they do that.
Froggy went a-courtin', he did right, uh-huh. Froggy went a-courtin' and he did right, uh-huh.
And this is the inside of the tank that I built for my little frogs. See, there's one pool of water there with food in it. And all the trees that they can hide under. And I have another pool of water that they can eat from and sit in to get wet. And here's a little froggy right here. This is one of my first little frogs. Check him out. He's got no tail. His eyes are up on top of his head, and he's looking around. Alright, and here's my tank again. But I saw something very funny. Check this out. Look. Look at this little guy. He's climbing the walls. He thinks he's going to escape. He's climbing up the corner of the terrarium, holding on with his little hands. He's funny. There's my little froggy. He's sitting on the spoon, see? He's out of his... Oh, he's jumping. He thinks he's going to get away. Ah! He's jumping across the carpet. Alright, so I've had frogs in my terrarium now for about a week. It started out where I had just 3 frogs. Now I've got 5 frogs in this terrarium right now, 5 frogs. This has been a very successful year because I finally figured out the process that I need to use to grow frogs successfully. The first thing I changed was that as they were tadpoles and they were growing in the water tank, I kept my air stone on constantly, 24 hours a day. In the old days, I used to turn it off when I went to work. No more. Now I leave it on, and the frogs are much healthier, so that helped them survive and live. The second change I made was in their food. Before, I used to feed them oatmeal, and that wasn't good for them. Now I feed them algae tablets, and it's much better, so their food is correct now. And that helps them live. So now every day when I wake up in the morning and also when I come home from work, I take the cover off my tank. See my cover? And I look for my frogs. They're always hiding. They're underneath the leaf. They're underneath something else. They like to hide in small little places. So I got to look for them. And they're always jumping around. They jump. You wouldn't believe how far they jump in one leap. They're good jumpers. They're climbing up to the tops of the plants. They like to go as high as they can. And I think they like this little terrarium. I think they're having a good time in there. But as you have heard me say before, when you get actual frogs, you can only keep them so long. You must return them to the wild. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to return my frogs to the swamp because that's where they belong. They need to produce the next generation for next year. They need to go back into the swamp. So you're going to see me do that now. I'm going to put all my little froggies in a container. I'm going to go back to the swamp, and you're going to see me release them, one by one. I always get so excited when I get my little frogs, but I know it only lasts a short time, and I've had my fun. So let's do the right thing. Let's release the frogs back into the swamp. Stick around for that. It'll be fun to watch them jump into the water and swim away. And you can see it all for yourself. Sit back and enjoy. Alright, and now the first thing I need to do in the process of releasing the frogs is to capture them from the tank and put them into small containers that I'll carry up to the swamp. So let's do that now. Let's see how that goes. Watch me capture my frogs. Alright, I'm going to try to get them. See, I got my plastic cup. I'm going to try to... They know something's going on. They know something's happening. Alright, there's a froggy in a plastic cup. So I put a cellophane over the top. Then I try to put an elastic band on it. Alright, so now I got a froggy in a plastic cup on a bed of lettuce. That's how you capture them. They know something's up.
Oh, you're doing this very well.
He's in there. And here's the spot we're going to release the frogs. Here they are. I have 5 frogs in 5 cups. And I'm going to sit over there and I'm going to release them one by one. This is going to be their new home. It's a big lake. And they can hide underneath all these leaves. They're going to love it. Alright, here we are. We're ready for the great releasing. See, I got my box of frogs. And they're all in the cups right here, one by one. We're going to release them. So let's see how that goes. I can see that they're jumping around inside the cup. They're very active. They're waiting to go. He's in the cup. Oh, he's on my arm. He's on my arm and he's ready to jump into the water. One more jump and he's free. This is going to be his new home. He's never been on my arm before. He's wondering what it's all about. One more jump and he's in the water. He's going to go. He doesn't want to let go of me. He knows I'm his daddy. He doesn't want to go. Oh, he's on the log. He's right there. Now he's in the water. He's swimming away. All right, here's another little froggy. This is number 2. Oh, he jumped right in the water. That one was not afraid. One leap and he's free. This is froggy number 3. This one I know is ready to go. He's at the top, ready to jump. Here he comes. Here he is. See my little froggy? He's trying to figure it out. It's the first time outside of my apartment. He's outside in the wilderness, in nature. Now he's going to jump into the lake. Jump! Jump! Oh, he's in the water, swimming away. All right, it's going pretty well. There he is. Oh, he jumped right in. Some of them take a long time and some of them jump right in. That one jumped right in the water. And here's froggy number 5, my last froggy. This guy's waiting to go. Oh, right from the cup. He never even got into my hand. He went right from the cup directly in the water. And here's my little froggy in the wild. He's living free. This is going to be his new home. He's smelling the fresh air for the first time. He's outdoors in the wild. Oh, a little ant. A little ant went up and touched his back and he jumped. Here's another one. Here's another one of my little froggies after we got released. He's in the wild. He's free.
Born free as the winds blow, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free and beauty surrounds you. The world still astounds you each time you look at a star. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, and there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, and there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth